So much has happened to me since the last special, though. I got married. I know, it was scary. It's a very scary thing to get married. We didn't like the ceremony. We changed it. We didn't like for better or for worse. We liked for better or forget it. We made a terrible mistake. You know what we did? We went to Las Vegas on our honeymoon. And it's a nice place, except they gave us one of these rooms that has a mirror over the bed. And it didn't help matters. We just kept looking up and thinking, God, we're fat. Gradually, we totally lost interest in each other.
And that's why I'm afraid of marriage, because, you have to make love to the same person for 300 years. How do you keep it exciting? Hats? What? What do people do? I get bored after a couple of years. I read books. Books say you want to keep sex hot. You tell the person what you want. How do you tell them you want somebody else just for one night? Want to make me happy? Leave. The nice thing about having, one person is that, you kind of get very comfortable when you're making love. You know what to expect. When you're out there with other people, sometimes people have requests you're not hip to. Be making love, nice and quiet, think this is going well. Suddenly the other person says, ooh, talk. Let me get my notes, they're in the car, just a minute. Then as you get real brave, you get yourself in trouble. You're having such a good time, you decide to talk. The most embarrassing thing in the world happens. The person doesn't hear you and they stop and say, what? Now you have to look this person in the face with no passion at all and say, I said, ooh, baby, ah.
I just broke up with someone. The last thing she said to me was, you'll never find anyone like me again. And I'm thinking, I should hope not. If I don't want you, why would I want someone just like you? Does that make sense to you? Does anyone end a bad relationship and then say, by the way, do you have a twin? People are stupid, Couples break up, get back together 6 months later, or worse, when married couples get divorced and remarried. To me, that's like eating your cereal in the morning and going, oh, this milk is sour. Maybe tomorrow it'll be fresh.
But more men are getting married now. I guess it's kind of dangerous out there. They kind of have to choose between marriage and death. I guess they figure at least with marriage they get meals. And then the joke's on them because they get married and find out we don't cook anymore.
I'm trying, look, I've never been married. I just say I'm divorced so people won't think there's something wrong with me. Only date divorced men because that's all there are. Hard to talk to a divorced man. They're always sensitive from the divorce, They take things the wrong way. Hey, nice day, don't you think? I don't want to make a commitment. Want half my ice cream? I don't want half of anything anymore. God forbid you do anything the wife ever did. They just freak out. What are you doing? Breathing. Oh, another one. Turned 30, started thinking about having kids. Gee, that's amazing. I started to look at men differently. In my 20s, I'd see a guy, I'd say, oh, he's cute. I wonder if he can dance. Then I turned 30, I'd see a guy make it across the street. I'd say, he could be a father.
And here I am, a parent. Will I be as good a parent as my parents have been with their little quirks, Mom and Dad are retired in Tamarack, Florida. Anyone familiar with that community? Maybe you know my daddy. Wears white pants. They have a second childhood. They're 76 and 75. My mother has a tricycle with a huge 3-foot wide seat with Frida crocheted in the back there where the license plate should be, with a basket and a bell, and unbelievable. My father says, don't tell me a lot. It's the perks of being 76. Hears you when he wants to, doesn't, stubborn. Like the other day, they were visiting me, and he was telling me I'm putting my sugar on the blueberries wrong. He said, no, you need a spoon, otherwise you have no idea how much you're putting on. All right, when I was 12, he went, don't cut the bagel towards your neck, Robert. Those kind of... You know, protective people. I'm 42. They may even call up from Florida. Where are you going tonight? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go out anywhere. Good. Stay home. It's nasty. You know, I'll survive an extra 24 hours if I stay. Why don't you wear a straitjacket? In case your arms flail out, you take your eyes out. You know.
I'm an only child, which means I was very overprotected. My tricycle had 7 wheels. And a driver. My parents wouldn't even push me on the swing. They wouldn't. They'd just sit me on the swing and run back and forth and say, it looks similar to this.
So 2 weeks ago, my folks come out to LA to visit me and my wife, and they've never seen my house before. And as much as I love my folks, I try to get back at them for all the crap they pulled on me when I was a kid. The first night they were out, my wife is making dinner. And as we're sitting down at the kitchen table, I said, Dad, you know, before we eat, you're gonna have to do an impression of a chicken. And when he said an impression of a chicken, why? Why? Because it's my house, I said so, that's why. This is my roof, these are my rules, because I don't have to give you a reason. If you don't like it, you go eat somewhere else. And don't go in the living room, that's for company. And then we drove around LA for like an hour until my mother had to go to the bathroom so badly, and I said, yeah, well, why didn't you go before we left the house?
I was in a Howard Johnson's once. Their slogan used to be, I'm not making it up, if it's not your mother, it must be Howard Johnson's. That was their slogan. I was staying there. I called down for room service about 4 in the afternoon. I was hungry. They said, no, it'll spoil your dinner. The maid came in every morning. She said, clean up your room. As I was checking out, the lady behind the desk said, go ahead, leave. Doesn't matter, I'll be dead in a couple weeks.
Well, I did get even with my parents. My parents came to stay with me for the weekend in my apartment. You know what I did? I made them sleep in separate bedrooms. My mother said, what are you, crazy? I've been sleeping with this man for years. I said, look, I don't care what you do on the outside, but when you're in my house. Because I said so, that's why. My mother cleaned up all the time. She loved to point it out. She'd say, look at this. You could eat off my floor. Could eat off my floor, too. There's thousands of things down there. I never understood what kind of claim to fame it was being able to eat off somebody's floor anyway. You know what? We had dinner at the Booslers. We ate off the floor. I know, we were there. We drank out of the toilet. What a hostess. You know, life is short. I don't care about the floor. I take vitamins. They drop. They roll under the refrigerator. I don't pick them up. I have 5 years of vitamins under my refrigerator. Probably come home one night, find a 6-foot roach in Adidas saying, I feel good. I clean up in my own way. If company's coming, I'll wipe the lipstick off the milk container. Comb out the soap. You have to do these things, you know.
I think you women will realize it. You'll admit it if I ask you men or pigs, right? Yeah, it's just too damn bad we own everything. Oh, just kidding, I'm kidding. I think I hurt myself just then. No, my mom called us pigs, little kids. She said, you're little pigs. All you do is shit and eat. That's all you do. Don't speak to me. Grunt like the pigs you are. She figured men should just speak like that. All you need is 3 things, according to my mom. You don't think you're all men grunts? You give them a thick steak. You like that, honey? You want more butter, or is that the milk? My mom said the only reason men are alive is for lawn care and vehicle maintenance. Think about it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Women don't even shop, they hunt. By one shoe, it's like a whole primitive ritual. One of them gets on the edge of a cliff, and they call 100 friends with a conch shell like this, going... Then 100 of them come out of a cave with their own shell going... They all meet in the valley, grab spears, get up on elephants, and head for the shopping center like... And the people in the stores hear them coming. Lock the doors, boys, they're on the way. Get in those holes. This is not a drill. This is what you've been trained for. But it's too late. One of the women sees a sale. Clearance, sir! Spread out, guys. They're coming in. And then they crash through the window, start stabbing everybody like... Then they come back with their shoes on a long pole like this going... I'm
in a great mood today because today I went shopping. Yay, all the women are applauding because women love to shop. We do. Men don't understand the way to seduce us is really just walk up behind us and whisper in our ears, 75% off. As we stop like a deer in headlights. Men don't like to shop. They just like to sit in those little chairs and look pissed at us. But we get back at them because we do the same thing to them at sporting events. Oh, hold me back. One went through the hoop.
Find the right person, you'll be happy. People don't find... They marry people for ridiculous reasons. My mother and father got divorced. Don't ask me why they ever got married. My mother was Amish. My dad was an Elvis Presley impersonator. So they get married, they get married and divorced, right? Now they split up, they're happy, you know what I mean? That's the word they use, split up, they don't say divorced. What do you think my mother tells me? You're 12 years old, you're the oldest son, you'll take over as the man of the house. 12 years old, I had to take over for my dad. The man of the house, the king, the father, the man who knows everything. It's the main job of the father, to know everything, no one else knows anything. You ever notice that with your father? He knows everything, you know nothing. Things that you think you would know, you don't know. You say, hey, Dad, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to go to work. And he, work? You don't know what work is. I don't know what work is? No, you don't. When I was a kid, I was working when I was 6 weeks old in a coal mine. Really, Dad? You were a coal miner? I was a shovel, Richard. I couldn't get a job as a miner. I was a shovel in a coal mine. That's the way I worked when I was a kid. All right, Dad, well, this is interesting, Pop, really, but, you know, I'm getting a little hungry. You don't know what it is to be hungry. When I was a kid, there was no food at all. He used to suck lint right off the carpet when I was a boy. Really, Dad? That's right. We were lint suckers. And you had to get to that carpet early because I had 8 brothers. If you didn't get there, you went to bed with no lint when I was a kid. We were lint-sucking coal miners that lived one miserable day after the other.
Do you realize our parents drank whiskey, smoked cigarettes, and ate steak and donuts 6 times a day? Okay, now, they had jobs, they stayed married. Today, we eat fruit and nuts all day. Pass laws against cigarettes. We drink white wine, you know, and we can't beat countries larger than a soccer field. We have some things our parents didn't have, yeah. A deficit just larger than the number on the McDonald's sign. Oh, and tofuti. Tomorrow morning, I want everyone here to go out and get a pint of bourbon, a pack of Camels, and a dozen Twinkies. God knows it's not much, but it's a start.
My father has this new thing, thinks everyone's Jewish. Harry Truman, a Jew, I know. It's well known. Louis Farrakhan, Jewish. It's all a thing to hide the thing. Ryan O'Neal, Jewish. So Michael Redgrave, Orthodox, has to be carried from his home on the Sabbath by a Gentile friend, turns his lights out. Swears he saw Babe Ruth point and hit a home run when it's well known he did it in Chicago. Don't tell me. He also claims to be the little boy Babe visited in the hospital before he hit them. I used to take an olive out of a bottle. That's poison. Only one olive. Don't have another olive. Maraschino cherries, fatal, 2 of them. Never ate a piece of lettuce in his life. No roughage, green vegetables of any kind. He said, it's for cows. And he can't figure out why he hasn't taken a shit in 40 years. I'm cursed. It's all.
All my friends have kids, you know. They all had natural childbirth, no drugs at all till the kids turned 2. Y'all know, huh? Whoa, they have all these kinds of natural childbirth now. Lamaze, Le Boyer. They have one thing in common. They're all still long and painful. Come on, I'm scared. If I was gonna have a kid, I'd want it quick and neat. I'd have Heimlich. Oh, honey, I think it's time. Boom, let's finish that chicken. Did you see on 60 Minutes people are giving birth underwater now? Yeah, they say it's less traumatic for the baby because it's in water, comes out into water. Probably is less traumatic for the baby, but certainly more traumatic for the other people in the pool. More chlorine. Ooh, get the net. Can't believe I waited a whole hour till after I ate before I came in here. I think it's so hip to give birth underwater because if you had twins, you could say you had a school.
So now I have a house and I'm married and you know what's next. I don't know if it's going to happen. I get such family pressure about children. Like my grandmother keeps asking me, when am I going to be a great-grandmother? I keep saying, I don't know. I guess as soon as you do something extraordinary. I'm American, he's English. What will our children be like? I guess they'll be rude but disgusted by their own behavior. I don't think I can have natural childbirth. It hurts. And I don't know if my husband will come in with me, and do that whole bit. I asked him if he'd be in the room with me when I had a baby, and you know what he said? It would have to be a big room. And there would have to be a bar at one end. But that's how men participate now. They come into the room with you, and they say, breathe.
Times have changed. Here we are in the 80s. Hey, come on. It's no longer like Cary Grant in the waiting room going, any results yet, nurse? Chain smoking, you know. The wife, mother, birthing partner, person who is pregnant, you know, now says, you're going to be in there with me, you know. Well, he should be. They call us coaches. Coaches, ready with your stopwatches? Ready. The job is to remind your wife to breathe. Think about that for a second. You realize exactly how worthless I am in this thing. When's the last time you had to be reminded to breathe, right? It's like saying digest, okay? When I put my fingers in your eye, blink, please.
Is that really sharing the experience? If I ever have a baby, I want my husband on the table next to me, at least getting his legs waxed. One bikini wax, he'd be dead. And our only big problem is he doesn't want to wear a wedding band. I know, so we compromised. I said it's okay, he doesn't have to wear a wedding band. He could just wear our wedding pictures on his forehead. I knew that staple gun would come in handy. Thank you very much. Good night.